Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, April 13th, and today we will cover the end of week trades for Tesley, Coney, NVDY, and Misty. All right, make sure I have them up. Yeah, I have the photos up. All right, but first, let's talk about something very important. Should I use the word scatter when I talk about various strikes? Is that the proper definition to use, when covering that? I've gotten many complaints, believe it or not, yes, about this over, since I've been covering these funds. So it's time to address it. All right. So are they scattering strikes? Right. Scatter is to cause to separate widely. All right. Does that cover the definition? Not sure. What about spread? Are they spreading the strikes? Spread is to open or expand over a large area. So I'd like to hear it in the comments down below. What is the proper definition when we talk about various strikes? Is it scatter or is it spread? Have I been using the incorrect word the entire time? Either way, guys, I'm really just kidding, but to be honest, I do like the word scatter better. It sounds better. It may not be the most appropriate word, but I actually do want your thoughts. What would you use? I am curious. All right, let's get to the trades. Real quick, here were my trades yesterday. The market took another dump, man. It just took a massive dump yesterday. So I wanted to buy everything, but I got to stop. I got to control myself because I'm using up all my funds. But I bought QQQI. I bought, 5 shares of QQQI because they're $50 each. I bought 10 shares of Phoebe and I bought 10 shares of Ulti. Ulti continues to go down, but the entire market is going down. So I'm trying to, ride the Ulti train, and hopefully it flips the other way at some point and we start making some money. But as of right now, it's headed downward, but I really hope, things change. All right, so let's get to, the fun part. A lot of activity yesterday. Tesley had trades, NVDY had trades, Coney had trades, Misty had trades. Way too many trades yesterday. I mean, way too many. So what did they do? Well, there's a lot of action here. So basically, they closed out a whole bunch of positions and they opened a whole bunch of positions as far as Tesley is concerned. So I'm not going to get into the details here. So let's just pull up the spreadsheet. All right, so they did not touch the synthetic. The synthetic is, there's two of them. There's a 175, which as of yesterday, it's no longer profitable. But again, it expires May 17th, so we don't have to really cover this too much, but it's a $9.2 million loss if they did close it. The other synthetic 170, this is still profitable because Tesla's still above that price. Tesla's at 171. This one also expires May 17th. It's worth $2.1 million. So now let's get to the actual trades yesterday. So they closed out a whole bunch of trades, right? So you see, all those BCs on the, BC 21 cents, all right? That's how much they paid, right? They closed out the 172.50, cost them 21 cents. Then they BC the 182.50, they paid 1 cent. And then another 182.50, they paid 1 cent. I actually did not break out the 0.010727. I put it all as 1 cent because way too much work for a fraction of a fraction. So that may affect the numbers. No, it really shouldn't, honestly, but either way. So how did they do? So look what they paid. They won. Absolutely, they destroyed it. The closest one was the 182.50, 845 contracts. I guess they closed that one maybe early in the day, so it cost them a little more money, and then they probably closed the the larger position later on. But is that no? Oh no, sorry. The 88-cent closeout that was done previously. So the 21 cents and the 1 cent was from yesterday, and in the end, both positions profited over $8 million. So they have dominated. Look at it. Look at the low strike. The low strike is 172.50. Tesla closed at 171.05. I mean, that's a picture perfect scenario. So they scattered, aka spread the strikes. They had two strikes, and in the end, they chose, the lowest one was still good. They made profit on both. So I don't know. That was perfect. I loved it. I love it. I love it when they win. All right, so let's look at the contracts going into next week. So they opened, they opened them as three separate, right? So they had 20,980 contracts, 177.50, and then 9,345 contracts, 177.50, and then 10,790 contracts, 177.50. They opened them up though at all different times. Why they chose the same exact strike, kind of beyond me. I don't know, but it's they got last week perfect. So this week we shall see. It's 3.77% out of the money, by the way, and they all yield around 1%. So that's typically what they go for. Outstanding shares did not change. Cash and treasuries went up by 7.2 million, but again, that's because of the weekly call income, for next week's calls. All right, so let's look at the outstanding shares. We're still at 45,825,000. Total income 15.9 million. Total distribution is 35 cents a share. Total daily income 4 cents per share. Daily yield, we're looking at 0.28%. Daily and annualized is 103.38%. So that's good. That is pretty good. Now, again, one strike, which, it is what it is. 41,115 contracts with a 177.50 strike heading into next week. 5 trading days, and it's 3.77% out of the money. 30-day chart, blah. Oh, skipped over the IV. The IV is 55%. So we have earnings, right? Let's see where the earnings date is 4/23, right? So we still have, next week. There's no earnings next week, so we're still okay. We have one more week to guess and predict what's going to happen. But until then, it's an easy week, hopefully. Potential capital gains, 58 cents for the new position, which it's okay, I guess. Again, we wanted them to scatter or spread, but here's the reaction. I'm giving them a trophy because they chose the perfect strike price for last week, and they did well. So, at the same time, I give them angry faces. I give them poop emojis. There is an occasion where I'll give them a trophy. So here you go, Tesley Fund Manager. You earned it. You did pretty well. I'm going to ignore what you did for the next week, which was one strike. But, you may be right on that too. So we shall see. All right, payment detail. Synthetic income, 545,000. Short call income, 15.9 million. Net income is 16.4 million, which comes to 36 cents a share. Short call income alone is 35 cents of that number. So, again, they're doing pretty good. Still early. Outstanding holdings. Again, they got the synthetic position, the put in pink, the call in orange, and then the calls in blue. We don't have to talk about them because they got a whole week now. But the net asset value is 702 million. The NAV is 1532, and the trade price is a penny more at 1533. Obviously, we're not going to look at pre-market because today is Saturday. So let's move on to the next one. So the next one is NVDY. NVDY has a bunch of BCs closing out contracts from last week, and then one new one. So again, one strike. What is going on? They may have one strike already sitting there. We'll have to check. But either way, they closed out 3 different strikes, and they chose 1. So 1 is the number, I guess. Let's take a look at NVDY. Synthetic, no addition. Again, the market really did not, took a dive yesterday. Something with the war, I believe, Israel and Iran. I don't know. Again, I don't really follow the news, to be honest, because it just annoys me. So there's no reason to. So what do we got? We got the synthetic that if they closed it out today, it would be a loss of 13.5 million. And that expires May 17th. So they got plenty of time to recover. Again, the strike is 9.15. NVIDIA is priced at 8.81 at the very moment. Let's go to the April tab. You know what? I didn't do? Oh, guys. Sorry. Let me just cover how Tesla and Tesley did yesterday. Yeah, Tesla went down 2.03%. Tesley went down 0.97%. Sorry about that, guys. All right, now NVIDY. So NVIDIA went down 2.68%. NVIDY went down 1.7%. Okay. So as mentioned, they closed out a bunch, right? They closed out some contracts. So, you see here, they closed them out 5 cents, 72 cents, and 16.25. The 16.25 they lost. That was the 870. We knew that was tight. They almost won, but they didn't. It's okay because it was only 100. It was the smallest position, 160 contracts. So in the end, they had to pay 260,000 out when they only got 84,800. So that was $175,200 loss. But the other two combined, they made about 3.7 million when all said and done. So they did very well for the week overall. Now heading into next week, we have, again, one strike, all contracts, 4,750, 920 strike. That's 4.32% out of the money. That yields 1%, similar to what, Tesley is trying to yield. They're yielding the same and yet also using one strike. Again, which is not something I agree with, but it's something that they're doing. I have to move these up like I did the other ones. Okay, there you go. Yeah, so they made $4.2 million for their troubles on that. Outstanding shares either didn't move or they're too lazy to update it, but cash and treasuries overall went up by 4.1 million, which for the most part was what they made on the new call. Now the summary is outstanding shares 15.8 million, net income 7.7 million, total distribution 49 cents, total daily income 6 cents per share, daily yield 0.23%, and annualized yield 84%. So again, weekly call wise, most of these funds are just doing really good, at least the ones I'm covering. Again, heading into next week, 4,750 contracts. These are all the contracts, by the way. 920 strike, 4.32% out of the money for 5 trading days. So we shall see. I don't know. 30-day IV, 42%. 30-day chart, a little ugly. What do we got? NVIDY price, 26.63. I can't wait to have a day off from doing these videos, by the way. This week has been crazy. I will be doing other videos, but obviously I'm starting to feel like a robot lately. Here is the capital gain appreciation that's possible for next week, $1.15. There's the NVIDY fund manager just smirking, but like, yeah, I had nothing to worry about. You guys are talking about my trades, but I'm the genius here. I'm the GOAT, so you guys can shut up already. All right, payment information. We got synthetic income, 2.9 million. We got short call income, 7.7 million, which is a net income of 10.6, which comes to about 67 cents total income per share, or short call income, 49 cents per share. So again, really good. Can't complain. Again, their synthetic expires May 17th, but the put is in pink and in orange is the call. And then since one strike, we have the blue call, but again, 5 trading days, not talking about it yet. Net asset value of the NVIDY ETF is 421.4 million. That's a NAV of 26.59 and a trade price of 4 cents more of 26.63. Again, this is what they closed at on Friday. So that's the summary for NVIDY. Moving on to Coney. This one I actually covered yesterday on my live stream because it seemed to be the first one updated, although I feel like they always update together. But of course, I chose the one that closed out the synthetic position, oddly enough. But either way, this is what they did. So they sold, there's the S, they sold the call, that's from the synthetic, and then they BC'd the put. So they sold the call, they made 13.1 per share, and then they closed the put, they paid 709 per share. So that would be a win. And then they open a new synthetic position, 260. So the buy call, they paid 27.25, and then the SS short sale, that's for the put, they got 29.95. Look at that gap. So they got a massive credit more. So, that tells me that they actually moved up. They typically do synthetic positions at the money, but I think they moved up in price, to be honest. They had to have. And then they have a BC here. So they closed out the 257.50. Obviously, looking at the number, 44 cents. Safe to say that's a win. And then they open a new position with a 270 strike. And look at that. That's a nice premium, 403. But I know I just covered a lot on the screen print, but let's see how it plugs into the spreadsheet. All right, so first, let's look at the synthetic 250. So in green on the bottom, this is where the closeout is, right? Typically in green is where I show how much it's worth. But also when they close out, that's where I put the final date. So obviously the final date, 4/12, they closed the 17,650 contracts and they made $10.6 million. So that number now gets added into the April profits down below here. So, overall, April, 10.2 million from this synthetic. But this in general, again, you have to look at March and April, which equals the 4.7 million when all said and done. So again, open to close for the 250 synthetic, they made 4.7 million. So that's good. And now they opened the synthetic 260. So let's go up above. They lost some contracts though. So people sold out. So obviously you see 17,000 contracts, from here, it was 17,650. So obviously people are selling out of Coney, maybe because coin is tanking, maybe because they want profit, maybe because they're scared of the halving. I have no idea. But either way, see the buy call? The buy call cost 46.3 million. The sell put got 50.9 million. But why is that? Well, it's because look at the price. Coin is at 245. They chose a strike of 260. Again, I don't know what the price of coin was at the time, but more than likely coin was below the strike of 260, which is why the put credit is more than the call. But I'll take it. Hey, that's income. Do I think that coin can hit 260 by May 17th? Of course. However, I still, again, I know there's a reason, I'm sure, based on prior videos, but I just wish they could move out further expiration date wise on these synthetics, It's like a 1 month out. Like, come on. I don't want to even think about the synthetic. I mean, I'm going to cover it. It's kind of annoying to cover, make a new tab every month, but, what was me, right? Anyway, to close out this synthetic, which obviously they're not, it would be 11.5 million cost. So anyway, let's move on to the, did I cover the April profits from here? 4.5 million. That's for the opening position. So again, they're making money. Let's just say that. All right, how did coin do yesterday? Pretty awful. Coin went down 6.56%. So, ew. Coney went down 3.45%. So not as bad. Not bad at all. Now, so they closed out, right? The 257.50, 44 cents. Cost them 44 cents. Look how much they made, 508 and 299. So in the end, profit of 7.5 million on the weekly calls. This is why we pay them, 7.5 million. Really, really good. Now, they opened a new position, 15,770 contracts, 270 strike. Here we go, baby. 9.87% out of the money. That is what I'm talking about right there. They also had other contracts already open, which had a higher and a lower strike. So, we'll get into the details later, but both basically they're all yielding from 1 to 2%. So they're making really good money. Outstanding shares went down as expected by 250,000. Again, that's how you saw the synthetic number go down. But in the end, cash and treasuries went up by 14.5 million. Why? Well, they made money. They are making money. They made money on the synthetic and they made money on the weekly. So it was an overall huge profit day for Coney. Outstanding shares, here's the summary, 16,050,000. Net income from the weekly calls alone, 14.4 million. Total distribution, we're looking at 90 cents. Total daily income, 11 cents per day. Daily yield, 0.43%. Can you yield 0.43% a day on your own? Maybe, maybe not. But, you know, you're doing it now and you're not doing anything. You're just paying 0.99% a year. All right, annualized 158%. Wow. What a fund. What a fund, man. All right, let's look at the 3 strikes here. All right, let's go from lowest to highest. The lowest, again, this is out of order. I apologize. I just did not feel like moving anything around yesterday. 500 contracts, 260, 250 strike. That's 6.82% out of the money, 5 trading days. The next strike is the majority, 15,770 contracts, 270 strike, 9.87% out of the money. And then 730 contracts, 277.50 strike. That's 12.92% out of the money. So plenty of room for growth. Again, these aren't growth funds, but there is room for capital appreciation. So if coin goes up, you know, by let's say 6%, they can essentially capture most of that upside. You know, once they hit the 7-8% range, they're going to be a little capped, but not as much. You know, it's when they hit the 10 to 12% range, they're going to be pretty capped. But the likelihood they go up that much in a week, who knows? Again, these are the fund managers that are picking these strikes. So they're doing this based on the knowledge that they have. And they've been doing pretty damn good, to be honest, as of late. 30-day IV, 93%. I love it. Coin price, 245.75. Coney price, 26.03. Halving is supposed to be 419. That would be next Friday. What's going to happen? I have no idea. I really don't. I am clueless. I guess there was a halving previously, but I try not to get mixed up in the crypto world. Obviously, you know, my exposure is minimal. I used to always, play around with crypto, but I decided to get out. I just don't have the time or the patience for it. So Coney is my crypto. But either way, potential capital gains for next week. Look at that. Look at that. 258. Damn right. Look at that. Coney, 26.03. If it goes up next week, you could be at 28 and change. 28.60. Man. If there's a time to buy, here's the money guy. We are making money on Coney. We are. I wish I owned more of Coney. That's for damn sure. But can't say enough good things about Coney. I mean, I know NVDY's the GOAT, but Coney is right there, man. It's right there. NVIDY's the GOAT because they've been doing it longer. Synthetic income, 14.8 million. Short call income, 14.4 million. So, look at that. Net income, 29.3 million. So, what are we looking at? We're already looking at a total income per share of $1.83. If they pay us just the weekly call income, we're looking at 90 cents already. So, show me the money, baby. Outstanding holdings. Again, I'm not going to talk about the details, so I'm going to go straight to the net asset value of Coney. 427.5 million. The NAV is 26.64, and the trade price discount, baby, 61 cent discount, 26.03. So, wow, that's a big gap. I've never seen that, but yeah, that's for Coney. All right, Misty. Trying to get this video done so I can get my ass to the gym. Of course, they had decided to do a baseball parade this week too. So add more to the chaos of this week. Anyway, let's move on. So a whole bunch of BCs here. So Misty had a bunch of calls to close, but only one SS. So again, I'm not sure what's with this trend of one strike. but I'm not liking it. But either way, let's get into the details here. All right, so Misty, again, they have a 1700 synthetic that expires next week. So we now should be worried because the synthetic strike is 1700. Mr. price, MSTR price, is 1,479.58. So if we do not recover, again, as of right now, we're looking at a loss of 12.3 million, which sucks. So we really need to do some recovery. We want MSTR to do a recovery next week. You know, who cares about the calls at that point? We need. Do you want to pay $12.3 million? Obviously, it'll go down in time, hopefully, but as of right now, that's what it's going to cost us. And I'll show you how much we've made so far, but it's basically going to knock that all down. But first, let's cover the April tab. Let's see how MSTR did yesterday. As expected, with the blood red market, it went down 4.65%. MSTY went down by 3.92%. So, contracts that they closed, which ones did they close yesterday? I don't think I grayed out the other ones. So they closed out, I think all of them. Was that 5? Yeah, 5. So I guess all of these were closed yesterday. So you can see that the closed price in red is less than the open price. This means it was a profit. How much profit? Well, if you go over here, you can see how much profit each contract brought. But overall, you know, it's like around 2.4 million around there, I'd say, when all said and done. So again, great job for MSTY. And then they opened a new position. This was for 545 contracts, 1670 strike. That's 12.87% of the money. And that's a 2.36% yield. Think about that. They can go 12.8% out of the money and still get a 2.36% yield for 1 week. That's really good. They do have another strike, so at least they have 2 strikes going into next week. Outstanding shares, they did not move, which I find unusual. But cash and treasury change, 1.8 million. 1.8 million, that's pretty much from the income. So what are we looking at? The summary is outstanding shares, 2.5 million. Total income, 4.4 million. Total distribution, look at that, $1.75. Daily income, 22 cents a day. Daily yield, 0.62%. Annualize that yield, 224%. That's the weekly calls alone. So really, really awesome. Oh, you already saw the emoji. All right, so contracts heading into next week, 5 trading days, 22 contracts with a 1635 strike. That's 10.5% out of the money. And then we have 545 contracts with a 1670 strike. That's 12.87% out of the money. So we'll see how they do, but that's pretty far out, so I like it. It's pretty safe, I'd say. 30-day IV is 126%. Again, halving is next week. So what happens? I have no idea. Bitcoin gets like a split, 2-for-1 split or something. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. You guys are the crypto people, some of you. 35.54 is the price of Misty, but we can have some capital appreciation next week of $4.54. Again, why is my reaction closing my eyes? It's because it's synthetic. It has nothing to do with the weekly calls. They are dominating the weekly calls. But here's why I care about the synthetic. Because, again, if we look at from last month, right? They only paid $412. They had a reserve, or what I call a credit carry forward, of 6.1 million. So they had 6.1 million in income that was unused. And then for this month so far, they have earned 6.7 million, right? So that's all added on the credit carry forward, column K. And so they have unused income so far of 12.8 million. Why am I concerned? Well, look how much it would cost to close out the synthetic, 12.3 million as of today. So we want MSTR to have a decent recovery next week so that this debit, it's probably going to be a debit. I don't see how they're going to get up to 1,700. So they're probably going to take a hit, but we don't want to take a hit of this magnitude. You know, we don't want to wipe out this entire, income, because it can. Like if MSTR goes down next week, it's going to be damaging. So we're going to get to the point where there's possible, return of capital. And I didn't see that coming, but it could happen, flip of the dime here. This fund has been doing so well, but this is why they only paid 412 when they could pay so much more last month. So it all makes sense. So they're handling it well. However, that synthetic is in danger for sure. So let's keep an eye on that. All right, so now, I don't think I covered the details, but synthetic income as we stand, 2.3 million. Short call income, 4.4 million. Net income as a whole, 6.7, so that's 267 per share. And the short call income is 175 of that. So again, after next week, these numbers are going to change a lot, but hopefully not too bad, but we shall see. All right, holdings. What do we got? Well, we got, the pink put and we got the orange call. So you see the numbers. That pink put is dangerous, man. It costs 14 million. The call is only a credit of 1.7. But again, we need MSTR to go up. That's pretty much it. The weekly calls, again, they got 5 trading days. So let's go straight to the net asset value, which is 88.4 million. The NAV is 3504 and the trade price is 35.54. Okay? So that's it. That's the summary for everything, for all of the funds. So overall, I'd say all did pretty well. Big week next week, Bitcoin halving supposedly on April 19th. So we'll look out for that. Again, yesterday I went live. Again, I plan to go live every Monday, but with my son's sports schedule, it may have to be moved. So keep an eye out for that. So unfortunately, I can't really have a consistent day. By the way, I said this Monday was the interview with Sylvia. It is not. It is the following Monday, so I got that wrong. So keep an eye out for that. It's already on the YouTube, so you can see under live when it comes up. So I'll have to make sure to confirm the time with her too. But the plan is for that is just have her join basically just a live conversation with you guys. You guys will post questions under the YouTube comments and I will put them on the screen for her to view and answer. And that's pretty much it. Obviously, I already had my interview with her, so I asked all the questions I wanted to. So I would hope that you guys can, jump in and ask what you want to ask. Because obviously, in the beginning, my interview, I really just took my questions. I didn't take much of your questions, to be honest, because I had way too many for myself. But either way, look out for that. For this weekend, though, I'm going to do a YieldMax and YMAG estimate. I'll throw Ulti in there, but again, I have no, it's based on a lot less data. Happy Camper was kind enough to join the live yesterday, and she did make an estimate for Ulti, so go check her video out on that. And yeah, I think that is it. I'll do the typical updates that I do, my options premium, my swing trading, and Defiance on Sundays. But yeah, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, whatever, leave them down below. But as always, guys, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. And if you were, please hit that like button. It helps. It does help. So just hit it. Just hit the button. Hit it. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so keyword today. There's no keyword. There's a question. The question is scatter or spread. Which one are we doing? Which term is the appropriate word for the English language when it comes to various strike prices? Did MSTY scatter their strikes or did they spread their strikes? Let me know what you guys think. I'm serious on that because now I'm curious. I do like the word scatter better. Spread, it's like, spread, I don't know. Either way, I don't care. That's it. That's all I got. I got to get to the gym. I'm limited on time now, but hope you guys enjoyed hopefully you had a good week. Hopefully you guys enjoy your weekend. But again, thank you for watching and I'll talk to you soon. Later.